What's up, my dudes? Valkyrja, and today we're going to be talking about Kafka a little bit because here I have the recent changes that was, well, not recent, this happened like a week or two ago, but I've seen everybody talking about nerfs. And I want to talk to you today about how these nerfs weren't actually nerfs. Instead, she got a massive buff that nobody really seems to talk about because I guess they just don't understand how it works or whatever. But it wasn't a nerf. This was a massive buff in my opinion, and I'm going to talk about why. So, in Kafka's old kit, she was very reliant on like Servile to get the most out of her ultimate. That way Servile could actually extend the shock state. But now, with these changes, let's go over them and I'll explain why it's a really big buff and why Kafka has basically become very self-efficient. So, her skill does all DOTs currently placed on the enemy immediately produce damage equal to 90%. That got lowered to 75% of their original damage. This is a significant nerf. But in the end, there's a very massive buff that comes later that, to me, this is a whole net positive. While shocked, enemies receive lightning DOT equal to 299%, got lowered by 9%, doesn't matter. Deals lightning damage equal to 120%, got buffed to 140% of her attack to that enemy with 100%. This is her follow-up on her talent. Here's the big change that's got a lot of people, you know, being antsy. So, with a 100% base chance of increasing DOT damage, and received by the enemy for 20%. So basically, she got Sampo's ult as a passive. She would increase the DOT damage received by the enemy for 20% for 2 turns. But now, what it reads is to inflict shock damage equivalent to that applied by her ultimate to the attacked enemy target for 2 turns. What does this mean? This means if we go over to Honey Impact and we look at her ultimate right here, we put it down to a realistic number of 10, it has a 100% chance to apply 290% of Kafka's attack as a lightning DOT. As the follow-up, pretty much guaranteed every turn. The way you trigger the follow-up is by doing a basic attack on an enemy. Yes, she lost some numbers, she lost some multipliers. But being able to apply 290% of her attack as a DOT for 2 turns is really damn good. And you can do that every single turn where an ally uses a basic attack thanks to the most recent changes. Does it suck that you lost a 20% DOT damage increase? Absolutely. However, this is definitely not a nerf. This, in my opinion, is a massive buff because now it boosts her consistency to the point where she does not need Servile to actually increase her shock state at all. She doesn't need Servile on the team at all anymore. Now the team is looking much more like Kafka, Sampo, and whoever else you want to run for the next 2 slots, a healer and a support. I'm probably going to do Locha and Yukong based off what I currently have because Yukong increases the hell out of the attack. Increasing the attack increases more DOT. It's something that should be pretty easy to line up and speed to correctly. So I'm going to be looking to try to do that. But that seems to be exactly the team I'm going to be going for. Is Kafka, Sampo, and then Luocha and Yukong is something I'm going to be trying to look for. Because that, in my opinion, the change was not a nerf. It was a massive, massive buff. So I wanted to make this video to try to clear up a lot of confusion I've seen going around. Because a lot of people have been calling it nerfs. I don't see this as a nerf. I see this as a massive W for Kafka. It does suck for the skill, though. Because I did like the skill as high as it is. Now the skill is only 60%, so it's only really half of it. It's not anything crazy. It's 75% of the original damage. It's not anything insane. It's just, you know, it's just a little bit. It's still good. It's still really, really good. Like 75% and 300% is like, what, 250? So it's still a good amount of damage. And the fact that DOT can't crit, it makes sense as why they're making her this strong in the base kit. Because she's going to be a DPS who lacks the ability to crit. So you're going to be looking at some crazy damage numbers just raw from her, and she's going to be relatively easy to build. This also simplifies the amount of resources it takes to actually make your team. So now you only really want to run Sampo with her. You don't really need anybody else, and you don't need to build an entire team around her. You only need Sampo specifically. Anyways, that's basically the video. Hopefully I sufficiently explained as to why this is a buff, not a nerf, although she did get several nerfs overall. But to me, this was overall, these changes were overall not a nerf, but a massive buff. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? I don't know. I'm really excited for Kafka. I'm really excited for Blade. We get the live stream come Friday. That's going to give us more information. I'm going to make sure to restream that. So if you guys want to know my opinions on that, whenever it comes out, just pop in the restream. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.